to kindly admit Ms. Nicola from Bullshare, please.
All right, sir. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Good morning to every one of us. Good morning to all our viewers around the world. And I welcome all of us to the Institute of Islamic Finance Professional Virtual Membership Induction, held today, 4th of July, 2020. And I think currently we are going to start, and this is based on the fact that we have the presence of our president of this prestigious institute, in person of Dr. Tajuddin Olalekan Yusuf, who is present, and on his permission, we are going to start this event. So to start with, I'm going to be riding on the president permission to request him, the president, to open. So, Mr. President, over to you to declare this event open.
President, you are mute.
Shaitan Rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah most gracious, most merciful, the messenger, his companions and followers, it gives me great honor to welcome all of us, starting from the Governing Council members, our special guest of honor, Honorable Jide Jima, who is here present, and our members who are going to be inducted today, those in the fellow category, associate category, and graduate categories. I welcome you all to this great occasion, and by the power conferred on me, I now declare this event open. Bismillah.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for declaring this event open. And at this note, I will want to move to the next item on the agenda. And by that, I want to invite for the induction keynote address in person of Imam Dr. Abdullahi Shuaibu to present the induction keynote address. And basically, this is going to be discussed on the heading, Challenges and Opportunities for Islamic Finance Professionals Amid COVID-19 Pandemic. So I'm going to be handing straight to Imam Dr. Abdullahi Shuaibu to give us the induction keynote address. Dr. Abdullahi, over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, may His peace and blessings be upon the noblest of all creatures, our mentor, our leader, Prophet Muhammad. May Allah peace and blessings be upon him, to all members of his companions, household, and all the believers all over the world that believes in his teachings and also invite to the path of the light, al-Islam. I also want to greet our president and also extend my salutation to our distinguished honorable guests, Honorable Jide Jimo, who is a member of the House of Representatives of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and all other members of the Governing Council who are also with us at this auspicious time, and to all the would-be inductees. I also extend that may Allah's peace and benedictions on all of us. Having said that, within the limited time I have, it is no longer a news that what is known as COVID-19, corona disease that started in 2019, is no longer a news. But the most devastating impact of this COVID-19 is that it has disrupted so many economic activities. It has brought upon all and sundry across the globe unimaginable human distress, as well as psychological destabilization of both the strong and the weak among us. But in spite of all this, life must continue, because this is not the first time the world is experiencing a pandemic or something similar to this. That as Muslims, I have strong conviction in the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will see us through, and COVID-19 also will become history like many other viruses that has come and gone. That be the case, let us look at what are the challenges that this sector is undergoing or is most likely to have to contend with. Over the last 1.5 decades, Islamic finance has grown tremendously, either in the developed society or in the developing society. If you also recall the financial crisis the world had to contend with in 1998, 99, and also the economic meltdown in 2008 or thereabout, that consumed so much or so many conventional financial institutions. The most astonishing aspect of all this was that the Islamic financial institutions were not so much affected. That explains to us that Islamic finance is growing everywhere, such that even non-Muslim countries are taking interest in using Islamic finance instruments to finance government projects, or for the private sectors also to drive their ideas to limelight. I also recall that, for example, outside the Muslim world, one of the first European countries that also issued out government sovereign sukuk was the United Kingdom at that time, when it issued out its first sukuk of 200 million pounds, which was actually oversubscribed. Also, I recall that Hong Kong, which is also not a Muslim country, also issued out another government sovereign bond of not less than about $1 million US. That goes to tell us that so many non-Muslim countries are showing interest in the Islamic sector. Some of the key regional hubs of Islamic finance include the Middle East, the South Asia, the East Asia, and Europe. And of course, they also have a very significant presence in Africa and Central Africa, as well as the North America. Having said that, let us look at some of the challenges that the Islamic finance professionals or Islamic financial institutions are contending with. Number one, these few ones I'm going to enumerate are just few among many others because of time constraint. Number one is the poor human capital development, because this is an emerging, sector in the world, not limited only to the Muslim world, but even Europeans, in the both North and Latin America, the Asian and their lives. There is a dearth of enough human capital or enough professional parts to drive this sector, because the sector is very wide. It entails both the Sharia department or sector, the Takafu, which will be limited to maybe Islamic insurance. We have the Islamic banking. Then we also have the capital markets. Also talk about the Sharia auditing and accounting. And of course, we also have the social Islamic financing of sector. So in all these areas, we don't have enough, professionals, to drive this. So this is a very great challenge for us. And if care is not taken, especially for those of us in Africa, non-Muslims are coming into this sector. So they may, if care is not taken, also be the ones to drive it. Why the Muslims? May Allah forbid, will be onlookers. Number two, also we have the issue of liquidity management risks. Because of the scarcity of, compliant liquidity instruments and infrastructure, this may likely increase the liquidity risks in this sector. And again, we are talking, this is also, attached to the first, issue I mentioned, which is the scarcity of the experts to drive it. Thirdly, we also have this public perception. There are negative perception of Islamic finance, majorly due to ignorance and misrepresentation of how this system works. And also on the part of the drivers, that is the Muslims professionals, who have also not done so much to create awareness and raise the awareness bar. So this also is telling, on the number of operators or actors coming into this sector. And another challenge I also foresee is the challenge of product innovation. This is again attached to my first challenge I mentioned, which has to do, with our inability to develop the human capital in this sector. So where we have a problem of product innovation, it means that we are lacking highly skilled and highly qualified workforce who are required to develop innovative and creative products that are sellable to all and large, and not only limited to the Muslims alone. That is why the Islamic financial institutions, need to develop strategic leaders who are able to reinvent themselves in this sector. Let me quickly round up by also highlighting some of the opportunities that are out there for our would-be inductees and those who have already been inducted before today to key into. Number one is that there are employment opportunities available for those who are skillful, who are highly talented, as Islamic finance professionals in areas like Islamic banking, risk management, investment analysis, takafu, and the capital markets, as well as the social, finance practitioners. In Nigeria, for example, we only have majorly now, two full-fledged Islamic, banks who are operating non-interest banking, full-fledged. I'm not talking of those that have windows. You cannot be talking of somebody who has built an estate and then somebody who has just a window. They are not comparable. So we have the Jais, bank, and also we have the Taj Bank. In a country where Muslims are in the majority, a population of over 200 million, and Muslims are in the majority, only 2 financial institutions. So that tells you that there are opportunities. More players will still come on board. If you look at the insurance sector, for example, apart from Anur Takafu, apart from Jais Takafu, apart from Cornerstone Takafu, there are others who are also coming on board. But like I said again, this is a market that has a lot of opportunities. So for you inductees, you have an opportunity to develop yourself and then be able to key into all these areas. Number 2 is that the Islamic finance, for example, if you take the Islamic banking, for example, it has a lot of products, whether it is a stand-alone financing that people need, especially in this COVID-19 era where so many activities have been disrupted, they have been dislocated, people that need working capital or people that need facilities to expand their businesses can either use this stand-alone financing, or they can use what is being referred to as syndicate financing, where if the project is a very big one, a number of Jais Bank, Taj Bank, can collaborate to be able to finance such a very huge project. And of course, if you also look at the public issuance of sukuk for infrastructure development, the recent one that has just come and it has closed is the 3rd sovereign sukuk that the Federal Republic of Nigeria had issued out. The first one was in 2017, 100 billion naira. The second one was in 2018, another 100 billion naira, which were all oversubscribed. And the third one that recently just closed was 150 billion naira. So many, actors, be it corporate citizens, be it individuals, all key into it. It was oversubscribed. More than about 600 billion naira was realized from this. So these are opportunities, and these are very good investment, opportunities for people who want to make money. And of course, for the reason of financial inclusion, the Islamic finance also take into cognizance some of the unbanked people, especially they are in the majority in the informal sector, who may not have the opportunity, to relate with the formal sector. So that is why Islamic microfinance banks are also coming on board to provide opportunities for the unbanked to be banked. And especially at this particular time of COVID-19. So microfinance are there for people to take advantage of, to take themselves out of the wood, out of this pandemic, lockdown, and then for them to be able to bring back their businesses. And of course, the last but not the least is that Islamic finance offer us a lot of opportunities for expansion in untapped markets. That the markets are emerging, they are very nascent. I just mentioned, for example, the issue of Takafu. In Nigeria today, apart from Jais Takafu, apart from Cornerstone Takafu, apart from Anur Takafu, we also have another one which is called Salam Takafu. These companies are greatly inadequate to meet the needs of millions of Muslims and non-Muslims in a country where we have a population of over 200 million. You can imagine. So there are a lot of opportunities, untapped opportunities there, either for those who are professionals working in such companies, or for investors who want to invest their hand money in sectors where they can have good yield over a period of time. And the same applies to Islamic Bank, like I've said, only just 2 banks. Though we have some banks that are having windows, like I said, a window cannot be compared with an estate. So these are areas where we have not yet tapped. And for Islamic finance professionals, as we are coming on board to be inducted, we must not allow complacency, to blindfold us. We must also continually take advantage of some of the continuous mandatory courses that this institute will offer to us, so that when we are coming into the sector, will be coming, with the skill that can match and even overmatch, the challenges that these sectors will pose to us. So at this note, let me, just round up by saying once again that I sincerely thank the president of our institute for the opportunity he has given to me, to present this keynote address. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That has been Imam Dr. Abdullah Shaibu, and he has been taking us on the challenges and opportunities for Islamic finance professionals amid COVID-19 pandemic. Mr. President, sir, on your permission, I would like to move on to the next line of agenda, the next line of item on the agenda, and which is to invite to deliver the lecture in person of Barrister Fatai Olalekan Bakare, who is going to be taking us on professionalism in Islamic finance, how important in the era of pandemic. Do you agree with me that Imam Abdullah Shaibu has said in his presentation, trying to tell us majorly some of the challenges that we are facing or that we are dealing with, which is ranging from human capital development to expertise and workforce, and at the same time telling us that there's need for us to have innovative and creative product development to match the need of a lot of customers out there. And again, I'll be calling right away to take us on the induction lecture, and that is going to be done by Barrister Fatai Olabakare, and he's going to be discussing again on professionalism in Islamic finance, how important in the era of pandemic. Barrister, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, the anchor. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, the Chairman of the Governing Council of Institute of Islamic Finance Professionals, the distinguished council members, the Honorable of the House of Assembly of Lagos State in our midst, Honorable Jide Jima, respectable inductees of today's occasion, well-wishers, ladies and gentlemen, I must say that it affords me a great delight and indeed a rare privilege to present this induction ceremony lecture. And I also use this opportunity to thank the chairman of our great institute for this privilege. I've been requested to speak on a topic of professionalism in Islamic finance. How important in the pandemic era? Let me set the stage. I'll do a little modification by not restricting my thoughts on this topic to the prevailing pandemic era, because professionalism in Islamic finance industry, or in any industry for that matter, is a germane issue and is not limited by time. Having said that, I must acknowledge that that I have no doubt, and indeed today's event confirms that the giant stride taken by our inductees of this occasion is towards becoming professionals in the Islamic finance industry. Hence, the importance of this topic that we are about to discuss. There has been dynamic shifts in the Islamic finance global industry since the last 10 years. If you look at it very carefully, the Global Islamic Finance Report issued in 2010 showcased the size of the global Islamic finance services on industry in terms of the assets to be $1.139 trillion. That was in 2010. Whereas, according to the Islamic Finance Development Report of 2019, the total Islamic finance assets as at the end of 2018 stood at $2.524 trillion. We can imagine the growth and the shifts. This growth is significant, and it has placed the Islamic finance industry in a vantage position when assessing the global economy. In fact, everyone will agree with me that between 2008 and 2018, that was a period of 10 years, there had been two major incidents of global economic meltdown. The Islamic finance sectors were least affected at those periods. From the Islamic banking to takaful, from Islamic capital market and sukuk markets to Islamic funds, wealth management, and Islamic pensions, the global records have shown tremendous growth and profitability. And these have been so envied by most players in the global financial industries. The industry has thus attracted the attention of the giants in the world financial services industry landscape. And that is why you will see European banks like HSBC keying into Islamic banking and establishing subsidiaries of Islamic bank in different countries. That's one of the giant banks known across the world. However, in view of the developments, one of the major challenges that is staring the industry in the eye is the human capital development and capacity building. We can't shy away from this. There comes the significance of professionalism in Islamic finance industry, because you cannot divorce professionalism from human capital development and capacity building. And that is why I said this issue of professionalism cannot be restricted to the current pandemic period. It is a burning issue in the industry globally. And in rising to this challenge, a number of institutions have taken up the challenge to bridge this gap. The Islamic Finance Development Report 2019 that I cited earlier on indicates that there are not less than 968 Islamic finance education providers globally as at the end of 2018 year end. Out of this number, 371 are degree providers. 152 of these institutions provide certifications on different aspects of Islamic finance, while 445 institutions provide courses, varieties of courses only, without certification. Most of these institutions are situated in Indonesia, Malaysia, United Kingdom, United Arab Emirates, and Pakistan. However, we have some few across all other countries, but they are so insignificant. You can imagine what the position of Nigeria would be in this global landscape. Having recognized this need, the Institute of Islamic Finance Professionals, our own very institute in Nigeria, has risen to this challenge in order to serve not only the Nigerian Islamic finance industry, but also to be a model Islamic finance certification institute in sub-Saharan Africa. And every one of you are welcome in this journey. But beyond the knowledge acquisition on the face value, there is more about professionalism. In building yourself as a professional in Islamic finance industry, the first point that comes to my own mind is that after this certification, choose a field and be a master. With the certification you will be awarded today, you are a good and potential candidate in non-interest banks, takaful companies, Islamic fund, Islamic wealth management companies, and even the regulatory institutions. You can also be a consultant or venture into academics. Although the major focus of this certification is for the industry is for practice in the industry. However, depending on your initial background, there are wide opportunities for positions in accounting, business development, strategy, risk management, legal services, internal and external auditing, even IT, include not to talk about Sharia audit and compliance functions. All of this in Islamic finance institutions. Like my able Imam spoke earlier on, he mentioned this. And we know the names of institutions that we have in Nigeria, which he has mentioned to us. These are part of the opportunities that come our way. But the clarion call is that do not be a jack of all these fields. Create a niche for yourself in a chosen field and be a master. That is one aspect of professionalism. Key professionals in all these fields are needed in Islamic finance industry, especially in Nigeria and sub-Saharan Africa, where we have depth of expertise. Although it is growing, these are what we have to acknowledge. I do not lose sight of the fact that there are already accomplished professionals amidst us who have also humbled themselves for this certification and have been inducted today. You are leaders of your calling in your own right. And when we're talking about professionalism, you have seen it all. But this is a new area where I will employ you, or the institute employs you to bring to bear your leadership, which you have built over years to contribute immensely to the growth of this Islamic finance industry in Nigeria. In addition, for our upcoming professionals, or those who are coming on this journey for the purpose of creating a dynamic shift for themselves in terms of the industry they would like to practice, there are certain traits that we must all have to position ourselves as professionals in the Islamic finance industry. I will only mention a few of them and then call it a day. In this industry, the first trait that the society looks upon in you is integrity. Because Islamic finance is rooted in integrity. This is very important, and it's a key aspect of professionalism. You would agree with me that from what we have learned, a number of Islamic finance products, not limited to banking, they have to do with a lot of disclosure. For instance, do you want to talk about murabaha in a banking, as a banking, banking and finance product? The principle says you have to disclose, you have to have a cost price. You disclose the cost price, you disclose your profit margin. This sends a signal of integrity and transparency to the people to the consumers of the product. Beyond this, Islamic finance products are not too difficult to market. We don't cut corners. We lay it bare. Integrity says a lot about this industry. And the second trait we look forward in us is strong analytical skills. You will agree with me that the industry is emerging in Nigeria and in fact in sub-Saharan Africa. A lot of people need to know more about it before they can key in to the value propositions. A professional in this field of endeavor must be strongly analytical. Analytical in all what it takes. In designing the products, in assessing the products, in selling the products, in reporting, in documentation, and so on. And the third one that we should look up to is that a professional in this industry must be an innate problem solver. And that is why when the Imam was speaking, he made mention of the fact that Islamic finance products is a product that that looks more into developing the society. We partner with customers. If we remember the Maqasid Sharia in Islamic finance that we were taken through, we will know that these type of financial products that are offered in Islamic financial services industry, they look more at what has to be done in making the situation of the people of the society to be better. It comes to solve problems. As professionals, we must carry about the mind of problem solving. And that is how we'll be able to distinguish ourselves as a good professional and a good seller of Islamic finance products. The next one that we have to imbibe is adaptable communication. Communication says a lot in packaging ourselves or in enhancing ourselves as professionals in Islamic finance industry. From what some of those things we have learned, we learned them through the rudiments. Islamic finance emerged or came about from the source, which is Sharia. The language of the Sharia is Arabic. But a lot of the people out there knows little or nothing about those Arabic terms. So the level of our communication must be in tune with the language the people understand. And we must be able to present ourselves in the industry as not professionals of the madrasa, like some people might want to paint us, but we are professionals of Islamic financial services industry, which is a subset of the global financial services industry. Whoever finds himself in Jai's Bank should carry himself and speak as a banker. Whoever finds himself in Cornerstone Takaful Company should carry himself as an Islamic insurance provider. The communication, the language of the industry must be part and parcel of us. And the next trait I would like to mention is humble confidence. Two words: confidence embedded in humility. This is another trait of our professionalism, and we shouldn't lose sight of it. And the next is self-management. Management is key in every sector. It is a fundamental. It is a fundamental that we can't derogate from in every business-oriented organization. So, as a professional in Islamic financial services industry, we must embed in ourselves that self-management and translate it into results to our organizations. And the next point is exceptional leadership. Exceptional leadership is key in presenting ourselves as professional in Islamic finance industry. This is a different topic on its own if we have to open it. But for everyone at this floor, we understand the basics of leadership and let it resonate in our reasoning, in our action, in the way we carry ourselves, in the way we deliver, and the way we represent the institute in whichever organization we find ourselves. The next is unwavering endurance. As an Islamic finance professional, we must have endurance. And I will quickly shed light on the reason. The industry is just emerging, especially in Nigeria. The number of banks, how many full-fledged banks do we have? Dr. Abdullah Shuhaib had said it all. But every professional wants to grow. We want to, grow through the ladder. The opportunities will come. The industry will grow if we are able to endure with the pace. You and I must contribute to the advancement and growth of the industry by contributing our quota in an enduring manner. The atmosphere that we have today requires endurance. We know what it takes to get a license. The capital base that is required to get a license for non-interest bank, whether as a regional bank or a national bank. So, the number of banks are not so many out there. The number of insurance companies are not so many out there. The fund management companies are not so many, but there are high level of potentials for growth in this our country. Looking at the economic strength of the sectors who have bias for Islamic finance, the population advantage in our country, it speaks for us. For whoever that has endurance, the sky will be the beginning. And the next one, which must be embedded in us as a trait, as a professional in Islamic finance institution or industry, is strong awareness. Today, you earn a certification from the Institute of Islamic Finance Professionals. That is not the end of the road on acquisition of knowledge, building of skills, and awareness about Islamic finance industry. In fact, the fastest emerging sectors in the global financial services industry is Islamic financial sector. So we must keep ourselves abreast of the development in the industry, of the review that comes out from time to time, the issue of financial engineering, the position of Sharia on current issues, product development, financial technology as it applies to Islamic finance, and so on and so forth. Data, research, we must keep ourselves abreast of the development. If we find ourselves in a position of marketing, that does not make us lose sight of what obtains in the global as well as our local industry on areas of Sharia compliance issues, risk management issues, legal and regulatory development, and so on. That awareness must be one of our core areas that we pay attention to. And the last but not the least point I would like to mention on what we have to package ourselves with is make ease with technology. The global commercial stream is advancing. Which does not leave out or leave behind financial services sector. We must be abreast with the technology, with how technology can be used to drive our service delivery. How technology can be used to drive the development of the industry. And that is why you will even see that one of the key areas that an Islamic finance professionals must try to pay attention to is on financial technology. So how can we use this to drive the Islamic financial services industry? We must pay attention. And that is why we have some professionals, IT professionals, who are in the forefront of acquiring knowledge, education, certification, skills on Islamic finance. This is very important. So with this, I want to let me stop here. There are more on what those traits that we look after. But if we're able to make do with this, the sky will be our beginning. I urge our respective inductees to position themselves for the opportunities that will come your way and do your best to uplift the Islamic finance industry, not only in Nigeria, but as global ambassador of this noble industry. Thank you so much for your attention. And I'm grateful once again for giving me this opportunity to make this presentation. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, Barrister. And I think that has been a very detailed lecture indeed. And I'm sure our inductees and also listening participants from all over social media are also very acquainted with what you have mentioned in terms of what we should do as a professional, ranging from choosing a particular field to specialize and all other activities, all other aspects that you have mentioned. Mr. President, sir, I want to still request for your permission to move immediately to the next item on the agenda, and which is to invite the registrar of these honorable institutes in person of Mr. Olanrewaju Sharafa, who is going to be taking us through the updates of the Institute of Islamic Finance Professional Project yesterday, today, and tomorrow. I'm going to move very fast, and I'll be calling on the registrar to have the floor. Registrar, sir, you have the permission to move on.
Thank you very much, Abdulhakeem, for your introduction. Mr. Chairman, the president of our great institute, Alhaji Dr. Tajuddin Yusuf, our founding father, Barrister Ola Bakare, our mother, Dr. Goniat Uthman, our father, Dr. Imam Shuaib, our father, Dr. Musa Obalola, our distinguished guest of honor, Honorable Jide Jimo, our guest of honor also, who also double as media representative, Ms. Bukola Akinyele, our inductees to be, I welcome you all today, and I greet you in the name of Allah I say peace be unto you. I say salam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Mr. President, may I quickly sought for your permission to sort of amend or alter my role today by probably you giving the consent to allow us to hear some words from our special guest of honor, Honorable Jide Jimo. Because as you know that the program has been scheduled and is being fully booked all day. And I'm afraid that if we go by what we have, we might be finding it difficult to hear some words of goodwill from Honorable. So may I sought for your permission to have Honorable to have at least 5 minutes floor to extend some words of goodwill to our inductees. Mr. Chairman, sir. Honorable Jide Jimo, I know the president is currently mute, but can you unmute yourself and perhaps use some minutes to extend some goodwill message? Okay, Honorable is offline.
Hello?
Maybe
Okay, he's here, alhamdulillah.
he's here.
Honorable is here.
Thank you. Am I permitted?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا رسوله عبده ورسوله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Mr. Chairman, distinguished people of the Institute, it is my great pleasure, alhamdulillah, that I've been invited. It wasn't my making, but Allah has made it possible for me to be involved today. Having said this, I've listened with rapt attention and attentively to the subject of today, the subject for discussion of today, particularly from the two discussants. And I think the two are intertwined, are interrelated. And I believe what is important at this time is for all of us to tighten up our belts tenaciously and ensure that we are all together and we remain focused to help the industry. Capacity building, capacity development, professionalism, it should be about science and technology, innovation and creativities. It is for all of us, for us to be readily available at any point in time to help the industry, to help ourselves, to help our children yet unborn. We are only trying to lay a good foundation today, just for a purpose. And the objectivities must be clearly spelled out for our people, particularly the inductees, that we are coming to this industry not for a joke. It's for seriousness. It's for us to help the society. It's for us to help our yet unborn children, because we shall all be judged commensurate to the work of our hands. And that's what I will say for now. I keep whatever thing I have, and I follow you up with whatever thing you are discussing. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much, our distinguished guest of honor. Mr. Chairman, can I also quickly sought for your permission to invite Bukola Akinyele, in which you have personally requested us to invite, to say salam alaikum to the inductees? Because part of what we're looking for is stakeholder engagement, and ProShare has been leading on stakeholder engagement with Islamic Weekly Program, which Bukola Akinyele she's personally handling that. I spoke to her yesterday on our program as well. So I want to sought for your permission to invite her to say salam alaikum to all inductees, and perhaps to see how we could, put this across to the world through their program. Bukola Akinyele, are you there? Are you able to speak? Do we have your permission, Mr. President? Bukola, are you able to speak? Okay, if you are unable to speak, you can type your goodwill message, or you can perhaps just send it across via the general chat. All inductees and the attendees will see that. Thank you very much. Let me quickly go to the task that I've been saddled with. I've been asked to speak about the Iifp project yesterday, today, and tomorrow. This is a very huge task for me because it seems the president should be able to, put out the future of the Institute to all of us here. But I gladly accept the responsibility because it was a directive from the presidency. And I want to thank the president for giving me the privilege to do that. Having said that, if I'm to speak about the Institute yesterday, what I will say about the Institute yesterday is that all what the Institute sort of attempted to do, or what we did at the beginning, was to sort for approvals and accreditations. Necessary approvals, necessary accreditation. I say it with all sense of courage that we are the only institute that has 3 good accreditations, including the Central Bank of Nigeria had to write a letter of no objection because of the word finance at the back of the name, or which is embedded into the name of the institute. And I mean, Barrister Labakari is here, and every other founding council members are here to bear witness. We are approved and registered by the company's, by this Corporate Affairs Commission. So that was what happened yesterday. On top of yesterday, we also sort of, put in a robust governance arrangement in which we have, highly experienced and, qualified people sitting on our council as an institute. So that's what happened yesterday. Now, today, where are we? Today, we are consolidating on those achievements yesterday to sort of embark on membership drive. We've had membership induction in the past. This is another induction. Bringing you on board is more or less bringing new energy into the institute, bringing new strength into the institute, and that's how we see it. So today, we're consolidating on that, bringing in new members, engaging with stakeholders, speaking to various experts and sponsors who can be part of the idea of the institute. And as Barrister Olabakare mentioned in his talk, that the future looks like we are going to be the model institute in sub-Saharan Africa. So we're looking forward to the future where the institute will be a model for many other Africa countries, in which case we are able to help them to develop their Islamic finance qualification, help them to develop their own Islamic finance membership organization, so that at least we can say we are the mother of all. And also into the future is to acknowledge the role of our special guest of honor, Honorable Olajide Olajide Jimoh, who has led our bill in the National Assembly, or who has sponsored our bill in the National Assembly, which means we're looking into the future where our institute will become a chartered institute, in which case will allow us to therefore begin to talk about practicing license and all of that, and all rights that a chartered body has. And we sort of believe that this is not going to be a big issue. We have, different countries in which we can draw references from. We have countries who have chartered bodies that we can sort of use as a basis of argument while presenting our case forward, in both houses of the such that will enable us to get our bill passed and forward for assent of Mr. President. So I want to assure you that you have made the right decision. You have joined a very strong and recognized institution. You have joined an institution that has focus. You have joined an institution that has collaborations with international organizations, including Iifp, including the Institute of Islamic Banking and Insurance in the UK. You have joined an institution who is developing certification and continuous professional development that will enable you to develop yourself and, position you for what the industry will be expecting of you. And what I can therefore say at the moment is that, or to round up, is to say, should you need anything as a member of the Institute, please feel free to contact the membership department of the Institute. Use the website of the Institute all the time, and also send email where possible if you need any help. And on that note, that concludes the information about Iifp project yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So thank you very much. Mr. President, if I have your permission, I'd like to quickly move to the next agenda, which is induction address. Mr. Chairman, sir, over to you. You are mute, sir.
Are you all hearing me now? Alhamdulillah for this opportunity.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. It gives me great honor and privilege to address our new inductees for today. I first of all welcome you to this great occasion and a significant landmark in our individual life history. My main message for today, first of all to our inductees, is that this institute is your own. The institute belongs to its members. Those of us sitting at the governing council position are just trustees holding it forth for you and fulfilling all righteousness about regulation. The institute belongs to its members, and the institute prestige and image will, to a great extent, be measured by the tenacity, the dedication, the commitment that the members bring into it. In this institute, because we want it to outlive some of us who are here today, we expect that all of us should see ourselves as, we should see us as equal stakeholders. We should be coming forward with ideas, with suggestions, and with new grounds to be broken, so that we can take this Islam, this dawah is a mission far and near across Africa and to the rest of the world. There is nothing stopping us from the goal and vision we have designed for ourselves to make this institute as Nigeria the hub of Islamic finance in Africa. And part of our goal is also to make sure that by the year 2030, Islamic finance becomes a household name in Nigeria. That by 2030, no Nigerian will say, what is Islamic finance? In fact, non-Muslims too will have come on board or will have even reverted to Islam through the value propositions of Islamic finance. This is our goal. This is our mission, that Islamic finance becomes a household name, such that the Islamic finance sector will be able to dominate. Or let me say, gain prevalence in the Nigerian economic in the finance industry will be delivering or contributing to. And within me, I don't know any doubt about this. With what our earlier speakers have said in terms of the growth and the development that Islamic finance is recording globally, there is no reason why Nigeria will be an exception to this. Therefore, all hands must be on deck to ensure that we achieve this goal. And how we can achieve it is you who we are inducting today should not see it as their institute. It is our institute. See it as our institute. All that Allah has endowed you in terms of knowledge, in terms of skills, in terms of connection, please channel it towards the progress and the growth of the institute. Come forward with suggestions. Come forward with ideas. Come forward with new groundbreaking ideas that we can take this institute across the nooks and crannies of this country and to the whole of Africa. This is the goal. This is the target. This is the mission. Let us see it. As we are being inducted today, I align myself 100% with what my earlier speakers have said in terms of how we have to develop ourselves and in terms of how we have to make professionalism our watchword in everything we do. We don't cut corners in Islamic finance. We do things openly because we are, first of all, accountable to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we are going to account before him, whatever we have done. So those that we are inducting today should see that yourself that we are really brought on board to contribute your own quota by ensuring that you live by the constitution of the institute and you live by the oath, which inshallah you are going to take today to become full members of this institute. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, Mr. President. And on that note, I'm going to, once again, on the permission of the President still, I'm going to invite the registrar of this institute to take us on the next item on the agenda, which is going to be the main reason why we are here. And it is no other item than the proper induction and official admission of new members to the Institute of Islamic Finance Professionals. Registrar, can you please have the floor?
Thank you very much, Abdulhakeem. I'm more than happy to proceed to membership induction on the permission of Mr. President, ably supported by all members of the Governing Council of our institute. And just to say, by way of pre-notification, immediately after the induction, new members should not log out. We have to still listen to goodwill message from our mother, Dr. Ganiat Additional Utsman. So now we will be proceeding to the membership induction. Mr. President, today I have on the list 5 fellow members, 5 fellow applicants who have successfully applied to become a fellow of the Institute. I want to present to you Adam Muhammad Abubakar, Ashafa Said Afolabi, Muhammad Gafaru, Musa Umar Keita, Salman Hakim Olatunji. Can these 5 fellow members please be on their feet and ready for induction? Also, Mr. President, I'd like to present to you our 10 associate applicants who have successfully applied to become members of this great institute. Abbas Kende Babatunde is number 1, Adebola Arile She, Adeogun Ismail Kende, Adewunyi Abiola, Tirimi, Siu, Animashao, Mutiat, Atinuke, Bello, Rafiu, Olasukomi, Doyin, Shukura, Owonikoko, Bakari, Isiaq, Idris, Tunde, Kunigbagbe, Kabirat, Abiodun, Muhammad, Idiat, Abimbola, Olatunji, Dauda, Ojedokun, Shitu, Sahib Akande, Yuguda, Hussein, Umar. Mr. President, I want to present to you applicants who have applied to become graduate member of this great institute. 7 of them on top of the list: Abdul Salam, Abdul Rahman, Oluwasegun. Number 2, Abdul Hamid, Isiaq, Tunde. Number 3, Akinwale Ada. Number 4, Babajide Sulaiman Olasode. Number 5, Jamil Adekunle Akanbi. Number 6, Okeyele Zakaria Adebayo. Number 7, Yusuf Sabah Ade Nike. Mr. President, on your permission and by the power conferred on you, may I ask all these members, all these applicants, both fellow cadre, associate, and graduate cadre, to be upstanding and ready to read the whole admission. Over to you, Chairman, for the admission, sir.
You have my permission. Now, by the power conferred on me as the president of this institute, I hereby administer the oath of membership to the various categories that have been mentioned. And I want you to say after me: I. What's your name?
Mohammed Sulaiman Babajide.
Ali Zakaria,
Solemnly affirm do solemnly affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution
I will support and defend the Constitution.
That will support and defend the Constitution
the Institute of Islamic Finance Professionals
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all
All enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith
That I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
and that I will obey the orders of the Constitution
and I will obey
I will obey the orders of the Constitution
and the orders of the officers appointed over me,
the orders of the officers appointed over me,
into regulations and the uniform code of the Institute.
According to the code
So help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, sir.
Agreed.
Allahu Akbar.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Kabira.
Welcome.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Members of to become officially, you know that as part of your membership, you can use after your name F, Fellow Islamic Finance Professional, FIFP, EIFP, and GIFP. Congratulations. The membership certificate, the letter of introduction will be emailed to you by the membership department, and once we everything is fine, together with all membership details and how to contact the institute, will be dispatched to your home address that we have on record. Once again, congratulations. Mr. President, may I now have your permission to invite the mother of our institute and also one of our very, very renowned council member, Dr. Goniat Usman, additional Usman, to give a goodwill message and word of wisdom to the newly elected member. Mrs. Ganiat, please. Dr. Ganiat, please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
A very good morning, everyone. We give thanks to Almighty Allah, who has made today a reality. We beseech His holy name. May Jesus' blessing be upon Muhammad, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his household, and all of us that are following his footsteps. I want to first thank the honorable that came into the house to honor Allah. May Allah continue to honor you. We thank you. We appreciate your coming. I want to also congratulate all the inductees on these memorable and epoch-making events. This is second of its kind in the institute, and we give thanks to Allah that it's still moving from strength to strength. We pray it will continue to move on and to have better impact into the in the society and in Nigeria at large. I just want to commend the registrar, the president, and all council members as well for their unrelenting efforts. It's not been so easy for all of us. We are just quite too occupied in our different fields of studies, but notwithstanding, this is the call to worship, this is the call to serve Allah, and may Allah make it easy for us. For those who have been inducted today, the fellows and the other members, I want to say that you should please be part and parcel of the institute. Please be part and parcel of the institute. The alumni has not been formed. I think if we have one, it will be very good for the institute so that we can call on you anytime we need your help, anytime we need your services. Like the lectures have been delivered, this is an untapped, not yet well-tapped industry. There are a lot of opportunity out there. Yes, you talk about anything Islamic economy, is all encompassing, and it actually has to do with the way we live our lives. There are a lot of opportunities out there, which this profession, this Islamic finance profession or Islamic economy actually present to the public, to the Muslim community. But how can we tap into it? We need experts like you to please be with the institute, and may Allah continue to be with you. We would be calling on you to be in a committee to work for the institute. You don't have to move around. Is a tech word like we had today here doing induction on Zoom. Yes, email, chats, and many other tech communication will be used. That will not really take much from you, but please, it will take much of your time. A little bit of it, please render it to Allah. May Allah accept our ibadah. I congratulate you once again, and I wish you all the very best in your future endeavor. Don't let it end here. You can still take up more of the courses that can, especially those who are not in the fellow category. You can continue to, progress, and there are more courses that are available at the institute for you to take up and for you to move from one kida to another until you become a fellow. So the fellows, there are a lot of challenges on you, honestly, and we shall be having a meeting with you, I'm very sure, very soon after this induction. God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Mr. President, thank you very much, our mother and revered council member, Dr. Goniat Additional Utsman. Mr. President, before I invite you to close the section, may I quickly appeal to you to permit me to invite Dr. Musa Abalola for his goodwill message. And he said, may I join other members of the Iifp to congratulate all our newly inducted members and welcome you as well to the Institute and wish you all the very best as you contribute your quota to moving the Institute of Islamic Finance forward in Nigeria. That was the message, the goodwill message from Dr. Musa Balola. His camera is off now, but he's been kind to put forward his goodwill message in a group chat. Mr. President, as it stands now, it is 11:26. We are exactly on point, and I think we are on point. We have done justice to the program for today. On that note, Mr. President, may I give the floor to you? Perhaps you want to add or remove, or you want to subtract, or you want to declare the section closed. Dr. Balola, are you happy to give your goodwill message? You are mute. Yeah, you are mute, sir. Dr. Balola is one of the council member. He's an associate professor as well. So we're proud of you, sir. If you are happy to speak, yes. You are mute, sir. You're still mute. You're still mute. Can you unmute? Yeah.
Good to go.
Yes.
Thank you, the registrar,
Yes,
for
sir.
giving me the opportunity to give a goodwill message to our newly inducted members. Well, let me congratulate you and welcome you to the Institute of Islamic Finance Professional. Well, this is indeed a responsibility that has been bestowed onto you. And I pray that we will be able to pass the test before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From the lectures we have listened today, there is no doubt that there is a dearth of Islamic finance education in Nigeria. And we being the torchbearer, that means a lot is on our shoulder to spread the Islamic knowledge about Islamic finance in Nigeria. We can see that there is a need for that within our immediate environment and the entire country. And I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you all the knowledge, all the wherewithal for you to be able to do so, because it's an honor that Allah has bestowed on us. May Allah make it about Islamic finance in Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Dr. Musa Obalola. Thank you so much. Mr. President, it's exactly 11:28. This program is scheduled to finish 11:30. May I now invite you, sir, to either declare the session closed or declare it continued.
Well, by the power conferred on me, I hereby declare this session, the 2020 members induction, closed. The next time we meet, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to recognize protocol, and it's time for council member to depart. Once council member departs, inductee, you can have a quick chat and you can exchange contacts. We wish you all the very best in your future. Thank you so much. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mr. President, you can go. If you go, Alabaka will follow. Then Alaja will follow. I will go on Alabaka is good. I will not believe. Yes. Imam Shuai. Dr. Balala is on. Okay, Alaja, you can go now. I will follow you. I'll follow you.
Take about.
Yes. Talk about. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to leave you as well. Thank you so much. I wish you well.
And that has been the end of the induction 2020 of the Institute of Islamic Finance Professionals. And we once again thank all our participating inductees, and we also appreciate your presence for gracing this event. And also, we also seek this medium to seek your continual support and engagement of the Institute, and you should try as much as possible to communicate either through all the social media platform, either through the Facebook or through the YouTube channel or through email, or you can also reach the Institute through direct WhatsApp messaging. And again, we hope to communicate to you as soon as possible, and also to reach out to you regarding the delivery of your induction package. Don't hesitate to reach out to the Institute. It does not end here, and we hope that in the coming days, we can together make the necessary impact we are to make in the Islamic finance industry. In our different respective organizations, we are well positioned, and just the way we have currently different members positioned currently in different Islamic finance outlets, ranging from the banking to the takaful to the asset management, and also in all other Islamic microfinance bank as well. So you are also contributing, and you are also joining the pool of expertise that we have. And at the same time, we hope to leverage on your network, on your connection, and as well your expertise and your wealth of experience to put the Institute forward and well positioned to make the necessary impact. So at this junction, I want to again appreciate all of us present, and ranging from the fellow members that are here, Professor Keita, you are well recognized. And at the same time, we also recognize Mr. Garba Mohammed, you are well recognized. Dr. Adam Ashafa, you are also recognized as one of the fellow inductees. And at the same time, Mr. Akim Salman, you are also well recognized. And at the same time, we also appreciate all other members here, and also recognize Dr. Adam, who is also a fellow member of the Institute, and ranging down to all members of the associate members or inductees of the Institute. We recognize all of you present. Said Shitu, you are recognized. Babajide Sulaiman, Muhammad Idiat Abimbola, Doi, Bakare, and the host of all other members here. And also from the angles of the graduate inductees, Abdurrahman, I can see Mr. Abdurrahman, you are also very well recognized for attending, and also all other members here present. So inshallah, that would be the end of the induction ceremony. It does not end here. It is only the beginning and the continuation of another journey, inshallah. So feel free to engage one another while we give the next 2 to 3 minutes to end this session. Thank you very much.